Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync listing to leads to Chime. So as soon as those leads come in from the ads, from the landing pages, from all the marketing activities you're doing in listing to leads, they automatically show up in Chime so you can follow up, nurture those leads, and create more deals. Super easy to set this up. Let me show you how. The first thing you're going to do is go to apination.com and click on Start Syncing. There you're going to see a ton of different apps, marketing apps, real estate apps, productivity apps. Scroll on down till you get to C for Chime. There it is right there. If you see any other apps here that you're using, click on those and automate those as well. You can be saving a few hours every week, every month. So here's all the apps you can sync with Chime. I'm going to scroll down till I get to L for listing to leads. There it is. So we're going to set up an automation that takes the contacts from listing to leads and puts them into Chime automatically as soon as they come in. That's what this does. So I'm going to hit this to activate it. The first step to setting up the sync is going ahead and signing into your API Nation account. If you don't have one yet, you can click here to create one. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Google account. All right, so now we're going to connect both these apps. Here's listing leads. I'm going to hit connect, and that is going to go ahead and take me out here to sign into listing leads to make the connection. Just log in, and that's it. That's how you connect listing leads. Once you log in, you'll see the account is now available here for you to select it for this sync. Very similar thing with Chime. We're going to hit connect. It's going to take us out to the Chime page and we'll sign in. And then you're authorized the sync. So there we go. We've connected both apps. Now we're just going to set up the sync that we're going to create. So just a few questions. The first one, do you want to sync all the contacts on the first run? This is going to sync all the existing contacts from listing to leads and push them into Chime, as well as add any new contacts you add in the future. If you want that to happen, check the box. It'll sync all existing contacts. If instead you only want any new contacts you add from now on, just uncheck the box. As they're getting added into Chime, do you want them to assign to a specific agent? And also, if they already exist in Chime, do you want us to go ahead and overwrite what's currently in Chime? Or you can check this box and say, just fill in any blank fields. Once you have everything set up, you're going to hit subscribe to create your sync. So you can see here's the sync we've just created. It's not yet active. Let me take you through a few more tools here that'll help you set up this thing exactly how you want. The first is the filter tool. So you can filter who's coming over through this sync by any of these fields from listing to leads. So maybe you only want to send over people who you tag in listing to leads as Chime. You can do that. You say tag contains Chime. Or maybe you only want people who came from a certain source or who have an email address. You can do that. Email is not empty. A popular one is to go ahead and sort buyers and sellers. So you'll actually just change the type to type contains buyer. So we're going to set that up right now. So now this sync is only syncing over buyer leads. And it's putting it in Chime with the mapping. So let's go down here. You can see we do most of this for you. We put the first name from listing leads into the first name from Chime, last name, email, and so on. If there's anything else you want to add, you would just hit this plus sign and then add the field from listing to leads that matches up with the field from Chime. This all looks pretty good. One thing I'm going to do is, because this is the buyer leads, I'm going to go ahead and add a tag here. So you can see we're pulling over tags from listing to leads. And I'm going to add one more tag, and I'm going to just type it in here. So I'm going to say everybody who comes through this sync should also be tagged L2L buyer. So you can see here's the preview. It's going to sync in all the tags from listing to leads, and it's also going to tag it with L2L buyer. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and activate the sync. So there we go. This is now my buyer sync. And you might be thinking, that's great. This is up and running. Now anytime a buyer lead comes in, it's going to end up in Chime. It's going to end up tagged as L2L's buyer in Chime. But what about seller leads? Piece of cake. Just clone the sync. And you're just going to change all those values from buyer to seller. So I'm going to change the name. And then I'm just going to change the filter. And I'm going to, don't forget to save. And then I'm going to change the tag. And that's it. L2L seller. There you go. Activate that sync. So now you can see I have two syncs running. They're separating it, buyers and sellers. tagged with different tags, and they're automatically going into Chime without me having to import, export, or do any of that stuff. So there you go. That's how you sync listing to leads to Chime. Now, all those marketing activities you're doing in listing to leads to generate leads automatically also puts them into Chime where you're working out of. You can email them, you can follow up, and start creating more deals. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.